Hello everyone, welcome to my little channel. So the next retouch that I was gonna do, I was thinking about sharing with you guys a technique. I've been highlighting my hair for many years by myself, and I want to share it with you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So stay tuned so you can watch the technique. It's pretty simple, pretty easy, pretty quick. So on my hair, a little history on it, I have been losing hair currently. I stopped breastfeeding, and that kind of has been giving me a bit of hair loss. I do want to point that out just in case throughout the video you see like that, those two little areas that I'm losing hair, you know why that is happening, just in case you had a question on that. So I used to be fully blonde. Little history on my hair. I used to be fully blonde. However, it is very stressful for your hair, and if you have textured hair, it doesn't take as great the bleach. Straight hair, I noticed that is very more resistant. So with textured hair, you have to be very, very careful and keep a huge eye on that. So because my hair is textured and because it does damage pretty quick, and I am on this hair growth process, I only do partial highlights, which is pretty much all the top here. Last year I had black hair, and I slowly, little by little, started transitioning to, as you can see, I started transitioning to highlights because I am growing grays, and highlights will blend my grays a bit better. You can see some right there. So, but you can't really notice much because of the highlights. So when you do highlight, you want to keep in mind the parting. A lot of women part their hair. Every woman parts their hair different. If you want to follow my highlighting technique, you want to start the same way that I'm starting. However, the only difference between the way that I will start it and the way that you will start it is that you will actually part your hair exactly how you wear it when you wear it down. So when I do start the highlighting tutorial, I will be sectioning it like this, okay? But like, let's say you do a side part, okay? Let's say every time you wear your hair down, you wear it like this, which mine is kind of not. Okay, so if you wear it like this, what you're gonna do is that mohawk section, you wanna grab a piece from the right and a piece from the left of that middle parting, sorry. And this is where you're going to start with your foiling. Does that make sense? So if you do the middle parting, you're going to grab one piece of this side of the parting and then the other piece of the parting. And then your foiling pattern will be here. And that is a very, 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 very important for you to do, because when you do style your hair, it's gonna be so beautiful. Rookie's mistake I used to do when I first started doing hair is I never asked the client because I was scared of them. I would never ask them, how do you part your hair? Now that is the number one question I ask every single client that sits in my chair, or even myself. Like I'm very versatile when it comes to my parting. I do switch it up a lot. So I want to make sure that for me, since I do switch it up a lot, pretty much this whole section is going to be fully highlighted, right? Like all this for sure is going to be fully highlighted, because that way I can pretty much part it however. So more like of a money piece for me in the front. So it's very important for you to ask yourself, or if you're going to do this on someone else, what their parting is, so you can do a custom look. Because you can't do the same parting for everyone, because if you follow exactly the same guidelines that I'm gonna show you and do it like this, what if they part it this way? It'll have a couple, you know, because we're still gonna highlight this. However, this wants to be the center of attention when the hair is brought down, right? Wherever the parting is, that is the main focal point when you're actually going to go out and you have it styled. So you want to make sure that that focal point is where you are going to start creating the highlights first. So with that little history, comment any questions, comments, anything that you would like for me to answer. Been doing hair for a minute. I am licensed cosmetologist and I'm a licensed barber. However, that does not mean that I know everything. These are just tips and tricks that work for myself. So I hope you enjoy the video. So I already have it sectioned with my custom parting, and I'm going to start taking thin sections. You want to make sure that your sections are transparent, and you can do weaving or slicing. Apply a bit of a lightener to the foil. That way your hair section could adhere to the foil better. And then as you can also see, I'm leaving about a centimeter space between my scalp. You don't want to apply the lightener all the way to the scalp. Once it starts processing, the lightener will swell up and it will actually rise up on its own and it will not stay. I am also putting the foils back to back. I'm not doing no fancy folding, only because I have noticed that if you do the consistency correct on the lightener will stick to the foil and it will not slip. The consistency of the lightener has to be not too watery and not too super thick. It has to be just right, perfect consistency, and it will actually hold your foils together. That way you can highlight the top of your crown area the quickest way possible if you do this method. Another tip, if you notice, I'm not really using any hair clips to divide or section. I just, whatever section I am going to foil, I put it to one side, the opposite side of where the other hair is at. This also helps you save time and you can foil the top of your hair way quicker. Just in case you were wondering, I am using a 30 volume developer just because I know that I foil pretty fast and I'm only doing partial highlighting. If you feel like you do take longer, I would not recommend using 30 volume, but just use 20 or even 10 volume if you foil slow. Once you work on your speed, go ahead and you can up the volume to a 30 volume developer. It will process quicker, you won't have the lightener on there as long, and it will just help overall. So as I'm getting closer to the front part of the sectioning, I am going to start doing slices instead of foiling, just because I want that to be more prominent in the front. I want it to be a little bit more blonder. This would be considered, I guess, the money piece section. So also that's why I'm doing more slicing instead of actual weaving technique. Also on the front, we are going to be folding the foils. That way they stay in place as they are being processed, and you are very sure and confident that they will not move or slip or fall off. I did do the other side off camera only because I am working on my own hair and I did not want to take long in filming and all that, so I didn't want it to get over processed. But pretty much I did the same exact thing on the opposite side. Also, if you notice, I am doing diagonal sections, which are my favorite to do on the sides. It just gives it more of a nicer dimension. It is time to remove the foils that look like they are ready, lifted pretty good. Make sure you wear gloves when you're removing foils. That way you can protect your skin from the chemicals. I honestly could have left this lightener in my hair a little bit longer to process. However, because I have textured hair and my hair does damage quick with the lightener, I do not want to risk it, and I'd rather just have a little bit brassy-ish hair color rather than super damaged, over processed hair. And at this moment, you can just check the foils. If they're not ready, you could leave them on there a little bit longer. If they are, just start taking them off one by one. Also, it can be a little tricky to see if they're ready with the lightener on there. So just keep in mind that with the lightener on there, it actually looks lighter. When you wash off that product, it's actually going to be 1 or 2 shades darker than what it's showing. So it is a little tricky when you do have the lightener. So just start learning how to see the color and know when it's actually ready and when it's not ready yet. You don't want it to be too orange and too brassy before you wash it off. So this particular section was not ready and I needed to overlap it with another layer of lightener and just leave it on there for a couple more minutes so it can process a little bit more. Very important, checking the elasticity, how I'm doing here, is super important when you're doing the lightener. You want to make sure that you're stretching it and make sure it's not ripping apart. Once the lightener is ready, just go ahead and remove the foils. Now it's time to wash it all off once it's ready, and it's recommended to use cold water for this step. Shampoo it thoroughly. And here is what it looks like freshly washed. I actually would have liked for it to be a little bit lighter on top. However, because my hair damages so fast, I'm not going to do that. And now it's time to apply the toner. For the video purposes only, I actually used a 30 volume developer when I tone. Normally I use a 10 or 20 volume. So in the end result, it did lighten my base, maybe 2 shades lighter. And I normally just like to lighten my highlights, But yeah, so if you don't want to lighten your base too much, make sure you use a level 10 or 20. If you do want it to highlight, tone your highlights and lighten your base at the same time, definitely use a level 30, always making sure that your hair will be resisting it. And I'm sorry for my son in the background playing Fortnite. So I like to leave the toner on for 10 to 20 minutes, and I'm only applying it kind of at the root for this step. You're close to washing it off, run it through the rest that is already pre-highlighted. You guys, you can't even tell that I have a little baby. Sometimes I be forgetting he's here. No, I'm kidding. He's so good. Say hi. Diga hola. Hola. Diga hola. He lets me do my hair, my retouch. Thank you. Thank you for being a good baby, okay? While Mama does her hair. You want your bottle? Yeah? Okay, let's go give you your bottle. This is processing real nice. I'm gonna go give him his bottle. Say bye-bye. As you can see, the highlights have looked dark gray and it's ready to wash it off. And ta-da, here's the final result. I clipped on my hair clip-on extensions as well, but I'm kind of just dividing it here so you can kind of see what it looks like. So yeah, I think overall I'm pretty happy with it. It came out pretty good. Okay guys, so I just also wanted to explain really quickly I wanted to show you guys my hair without the extensions. And also this is my second time washing it after I did my hair. And I just wanted to come back and show you without the extensions, and also how it changes, how your hair changes with the shampoo washes. So just keep in mind that even if you do want to do like a really great platinum hair color, once you start shampooing it, these toners will wash off. So I'm still loving it. My retouch looks really good. You can see dimension in there because I did do a lot of different highlights and stuff like that. I hope this was educational for you guys. Any questions or comments, please ask away. I appreciate you. Like and subscribe if you'd like. If not, it's fine. Stay safe and be blessed and get blonde.